Hello everybody, what's going on? So today we are breaking down the massive news surrounding Palantir Technologies. If you have been watching the ticker lately, you know Palantir has been on a roller coaster, currently sitting about 30% off its recent highs. But while the retail market is sweating the volatility, something much bigger is happening behind the scene in Washington, D.C. We are talking about a direct shout out from the President Trump and a series of massive government contracts that signal a fundamental shift in how this company is valued. Is this the dip of a lifetime or a valuation trap? Let's look at the data. But first, let's address the elephant in the room, the president endorsement. In a recent social media post, President Trump highlighted Palantir's war fighting capabilities, specifically noting their effectiveness in current theater of operation. Now, whether you are in it for the politics or not as an investor, you have to recognize the Trump bump. For what is it? A clear signal that the current administration views Palantir not just as a vendor, but a critical pillar of national security. But it's not just stocks. The numbers are hitting the ledger. We just saw the Department of Homeland Security award Palantir a 5-year blanket purchase agreement worth 1 billion. This is a game changer because it allows agencies like Customs and Border Protection and ICE to bypass the usual red tape and pull Palantir's tech directly into their operations. And it is expanding. The USDA just handed them a 300 million deal to modernize food supply logistics. Palantir is moving from the battlefield to the farm, proving that their ontology system, the way they recognize and visualize complex data, is universal. Wall Street is starting to wake up to this. Morgan Stanley is calling Palantir a dominant force in this agentic AI cycle. They look at the Q4 revenue growth of 70% and a rule of 40, they scored 127. To put that into perspective, anything over 40 is considered elite. 127% is almost unheard of in enterprise software. Now let's look at the price. At 146 a share, the valuation is high. There's no way around that. It's trading at 195 times earning. That is expensive. And it is why we have seen the recent 30% slide as investors rotate into safer asset. But here's the kicker. The consensus price target remain at 200. That's nearly 40% upside where we are today. If Palantir lands the FAA contract currently in the work, a deal worth 32 billion, the current expensive price tag might look like a bargain into 2 years. My take here is that the volatility is the entry fee for a company that is essentially becoming the operating system for the US government. When you have the president publicly backing the tech and the DHS locking in $1 billion agreement, the long term thesis is stronger than ever. Now, let's go deeper into why this explosion beyond the Department of Defense is such a pivotal moment for your portfolio. For years, the bear case against Palantir was that they were a one trick pony, essentially a niche consultancy for the CIA and the Pentagon. But recently, this 300 million USDA win and a potential 32 billion FAA contract absolutely shatter that narrative. We are seeing Palantir transition from a defense contractor to a civilian infrastructure necessity. When you look at the USDA deal, they aren't just analyzing data, they are safeguarding the food supply chain for the entire nation. This represents a move into logistics and resilience that is applicable to every single Fortune 500 company on the planet. If they can manage the complexities of federal agriculture, they can manage a global retail supply chain or multinational manufacturing floor. This brings us to ontology, the secret sauce that Morgan Stanley is so bullish on. Most AI companies give you black box. You feed it data and it gives you a prediction. Palantir gives you a digital twin of your entire organization. It allows a general or a CEO or a government official to see that downstream effect of a decision before they make it. In an era of global instability and rapid inflation, that decision advantage is most valuable commodity on the earth. Now let's talk about the competition, or rather the lack of it. Who else is doing this at this scale? You have the legacy players like Raytheon or Lockheed in the defense space, and you have the cloud giants like Microsoft or AWS in the enterprise space. But Palantir sits right in the middle. They aren't just providing the cloud storage; they are providing the brain that sits on the top of it. This is why the DHS deal is a BPA, a blanket purchase agreement. It's the government saying, we don't even want to look at other option. We just want a streamlining way to buy more Palantir. And for those of you worried about the 195x earning multiple, I get this. It's a number that makes value investors lose sleep. But remember, we are looking at 57% projected annual earning growth throughout 2027. We are paying for future, not the past. In the tech world, winners take most. Palantir isn't just winning. They are rewriting the rules of how the government and the private sector interact with intelligence. And this recent deal, that's not a breakdown in the company, it's a rotation in the market. The macro environment is shaky. People are moving to cash and growth stocks are getting hit. But Palantir's revenue didn't dip, their contracts didn't disappear. In fact, they grew. So, if you believe that AI is the defining technology of the next decade, and you believe the US government will be the largest buyer of that technology, then you have to look at the Palantir as the primary beneficiary. The endorsement from the highest level of government and the record breaking financial metrics tells a story of a company that is just getting started. So, while headline focus on daily price action, I am focusing on structural integration of this company into the very fabric of our national infrastructure. The risk is high, sure, but the potential reward for those who can stomach the volatility is looking more and more like a generational opportunity. So prepare now.